morning, Quilt Roadies. Long time no see. Yeah, you can hear from my voice. There's a reason for it. In the last few years, whenever I've gotten a cold, I've ended up with a form of laryngitis. So that's where we're at today. I just wanted to stop in because the Fat Quarter Shoppe has given me another gift card to give away. And so I would love to be able to start the new year with you being, one of you being able to shop at the Fat Quarter Shoppe. They are so generous, and there is so much to learn on their site. So please, not only subscribe to this channel, but subscribe to the Fat Quarter Shoppe. You won't regret it. I have been thinking about a lot, 2023, what does that mean? I gave you a little panoramic view of a portion of the beehive because I've changed the what's on the design wall. I have the Sashiko quilt that I want to quilt for auction. And today, it's been a few days, a week or more, since I've actually sat at my sewing machine. And so I'm ready to do that. I've got it all cut out and ready to sew that next row on the Tannenbaum. So that is on my list to at least get the top done, the rows done. Yeah. And then I might stick it away and think about it later in the year. I have, like many of you, been looking towards 2023 as an epic year, and I have thought a lot about it. I decided I was going to keep a journal of, I'm trying to get the journal out here, keep a journal of all of my crafting, and realized that it would be somewhat overwhelming to have it all together and confusing for me. I'm not a very organized person, but I do like a sense of I don't even know how to explain this, but I've always wanted to like sit in the back row in the movie theater or in an auditorium. There's a comfort for me in the edges of the world, and it is the same in my crafting. And rather than fight that, I have decided several months ago to embrace it, and it has made a huge difference for me. So when I was looking to 2023, I thought I was going to just jump right in with all the things that I love. But I realized that in that world, I also want a sense of what my edges were. And so I decided to, like I do two channels, Quilt Roadies and Stitch Roadies, I decided to create two journals. And so this journal, it's so interesting that I should get this journal. This was a gift from a friend, and I decorated the front of it. This is going to be specifically for my quilting. It's interesting that she sent this because I originally thought when she said she was we were trading journals, that it was going to be green, but in fact it is blue. And I find that very, very telling, because I pick a word for the year and I pick a color of the year. And this year's color is blue. And that's a challenge for me because that has never been one of my favorite colors. I tend to go towards the reds and the oranges, but for whatever reason, I decided that blue was calling to me. And then this journal arriving, I stuck some stickers on it. be good to yourself. And I found this when I was trying to pick out my word for the year. I was doing some research, and if you go on my woolymammoth.blogspot.com, a few posts ago, I listed all of the words that I had picked when I started picking word of the year, and it suddenly came to me what my word for this year was, and I just want to read this to you because it's kind of interesting. So my word for the year was for 2023 is breathe. And I know that may not seem like, wow, that's a breathe. Okay, what does that mean? Well, for me, it means taking a moment. Anytime your body or your mind or your heart has this overwhelming emotion for whatever reason, I'm going to tap into my word for the year and breathe. And I found this ancient Sanskrit. I drew this on my journal. It's a Sanskrit symbol. It's an ancient Sanskrit symbol, and is a beautiful reminder, I'm just reading this to do what comes naturally. It's the first thing we do when we come into this world. We breathe. And the last thing we do when we leave it. So this year's word for me is, I believe, one of the most powerful words I've chosen. And so I drew the Sanskrit symbol on the first page of my journal. And I then picked out 4 of my long-term whips, quilting whips, and I'm going to show them to you. It is not that this is the only thing I'm going to work on this year. It is that I'm going to concentrate on these 4. I wanted to identify them, write them down, so that they would have a voice in my journal. But there are several other things that I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to be starting new things. There's no two ways about it. But I wanted to show you the 4 projects that were long-term projects in my closet that I'm now going to concentrate on in 2023. The first one is Sylvia Pippin's Perennial Favorites, and I've showed this to you before. I know you've seen all these, but now they're going to have a voice. They're going to breathe this year, and it's a combination of wool and sashiko, and so this is one of the blocks. Now I have a few of the blocks done, but this one is going to be finished this year. At least the top will be finished this year. So Perennial Favorites. This next one is called Crimson Tweed. And I'm here to tell you this is an early project by Sue Spargo. And you're going to want to go on her site because she has re-released kits for this project. And this was a project before she got into the Spargoing everything, you know, the over the top embellishment that we all love. And here's the book, Crimson Tweed. And I was lucky enough. Now you can get this kit. There's a limited number, though. There's a limited number in a re-release of this book and kit on Sue Spargo's site. But I saw this made up in a more homespun colorway at a shop that's no longer opened, but it was called, it was in Cave Creek, Old World Quilt Shop. And I just loved it. And so this is the first block I prepped. And I'm going to Spargo it, even though the book doesn't show all of the embellishments. I have had pictures of friends who finished this. And so we'll do a little bit of both, a little bit of primitive, a little bit of Spargoing on this. But if you're wanting to get this project and have it all kitted up, you are going to want to go on to Sue Spargo's site. Yeah. Now I'm lucky that this year I got into Crabapple Hill's Halloween event. Meg Hockey does about 4 different workshops a year at her home base in the Tri-City areas of Washington. And I was able to get into the Halloween one, which is one I've always wanted to get into. And what I saw, if you follow her on Instagram, what you see is that people bring their projects for show and tell. So I want to bring a project for show and tell. So this one will be an earlier in the year finish so that I can get it quilted and get it ready to come with me. The workshops are, it's great to get onto a waiting list even if there is no openings, because life happens, as you know, and openings happen. So you might have an opportunity. And the last time, if you go back on the Quilt Roadie videos and actually put in Crabapple Hill, I actually did a video and an interview with Meg the last time I was at a workshop. And she is a fantastic designer who uses a combination of mediums to make her quilts. And the barn, which was built on her property, houses the workshop and her shopping, and she feeds you. Yeah. So I picked up this this particular project. I absolutely love it. She does a combination of coloring and shading in her embroidery, and she uses Cosmo threads. The reason this is languishing is because I went through a period where I was using transferees. And then it was like, oh, you know, I wanted to try something different, but this had the transferees on it. So I actually got fairly far on the embroidery, but am not real fond of what the transferees just looks like. So I'm going to finish it, though. I'm going to finish it, and I am going to take it to my workshop in October. So there is 3. And then number 4 is Heirloom Rose by Primitive Gatherings. And you've seen this. I've been working on these blocks, but this year I'm going to get them all done. I just love this. So these are the 4 projects that are going to be a focus for me in 2023. That's not to say that I won't start something new, and I already know that I'm going to be working on O Tannenbaum, but I listed those 4 projects as focus projects in my quilting journal. My quilting journal. I did pull out a kit. That I'm going to finish in January. I just love it. It's a needle and thread book. All through the night. This is Bonnie Sullivan. Isn't that cute? And it has a pre-printed kit. And I got this at Pioneer Quilts, which is our local quilt shop. And see, it has a pre-printed panel to use in your needle book. So I need, since I'm going to be doing lots of stitching this year, I am going to be needing this needle book. And you can never have too many needle books, can you? Yeah. So I have that project on the way. Yeah, I'm very excited about 2023. I think it's going to be an epic year. I plan on making it so. And G and I have been talking a lot. While we've been laid up, we have actually been watching old Quilt Roadie videos of our travels and quilt shops that we have visited. And we are both ready to be Anna and G on the road. And so I am looking forward to 2023 and where we can bring to you our travels and my quilting on the road and meeting quilters and going to shows. And in January, I will be at the road to California. So I hope I see some of you there. I'm looking very much forward to that. And if you are interested in the $35 Fat Quarter gift card, all you have to do is comment. But please make sure you're a subscriber, because I do check. I think it's only fair that these things go to people who are supporting this channel and are willing to support the Fat Quarter Shop too. So you all take care. I hope you all are feeling better. We are turning a corner. Happy New Year. And we shall see you in the next video. Love you guys.